Good morning, RC. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Deborah Davis. I'm the Regional Director of the Minority Business Assistance Center, which is housed at the African American Chamber of Commerce. And we are conducting technical webinars with the assistance and the expertise of Influ. Joshua Reed is the CEO and founder of Influ. And he has been facilitating these webinars for all through COVID for the last year and a half. So it'll be almost, a little over a year and a half by the time we finish with all of these webinars. So I'm very thankful and appreciative of him providing his skill set to all of our clients and strategic partners. So I'm going to turn this over to Joshua Reed, and he'll tell you a little bit about himself and about his company, Influ. Thank you so much, Joshua, for facilitating this webinar for us today.
Yes, thanks for having me. So good morning again, everyone. This is week, I believe, 10, maybe 9, 10, maybe 11. So excited to be back here today to talk about advanced virtual tours. So over the last 2 months or 2.5 months, we've covered a number of topics from web development design. So I showed you guys how to make a website from A to Z, how to publish it on Wix, how to publish it on WordPress. Showed you guys how to develop and create content with an Adobe Premiere Pro, also Adobe After Effects. We've been through taking your virtual media to the next level as far as microphones and audio and Canva, constant contact, email campaign, everything from A to Z we have covered. And so from today moving forward, we're going to be focusing a lot on how to take these ideas and then scale it up through your business, going through financials, going through VC, and today going through virtual tours. If you're someone that is in real estate or residential or commercial, then you understand the challenges that have been taking place with COVID-19 and being able to meet with people face to face and maybe showing your properties, or maybe you want to give people a tour of your co-working space. So this is the ideal webinar for yourself. If you're someone that wants to create a virtual tour to be able to send to someone, to be able to walk through virtually your property or the location that you want to showcase. So how do we get to this point? Let me share my screen 1 second. Here's the PowerPoint. So how did we get to this point? And as you said, I'm the founder and CEO of a software company called Influ. And we have automated social media by way of artificial intelligence and machine learning for businesses and enterprise companies. And something you guys can check out is influ.com, and it's doing pretty well. We won, some awards, and so definitely check it out, influ.com, and you can learn all the information there, because I can go on and on about, obviously, my business, but our focus today is showing you guys how to create those virtual tours. And so as you can see, advanced virtual tours, let me see here, I see the chat. Thank you. And our agenda. So by the end of this tutorial, you will no longer need to rely on any experts to help you create virtual tours. So one-on-one, I'm like your friend that's the mechanic, right? And you take your car to the shop, and the guy doesn't know I'm a mechanic, and he's saying, you got this, this, and this. And I've already told you what was wrong with the car. Just said, I can't fix it, right? I don't have the tools, I don't have the time. And go to the shop, and the guy's like, no, that's not it. You need 5 other things. So what he doesn't know is I know the tricks of the trade. So I'm not trying to stop his business, but you can't get over on my friend, because I'm also a mechanic. So I know this business very well. So I'm here giving you all the tricks to the magician. Some may like it, but most appreciate it. And, but I do think the experts out there are good. They have good businesses, and they can take things to another level. If that's what you want to do, that is way outside of just the virtual tours. So my goal is to get you at the end of this webinar, you will be able to either take the devices that you currently have and create your virtual tours, or you'll be able to go online and order the things you need and immediately get started. You don't need to go watch any other videos. So if you have been to any of our previous webinars, I take my time with the content and we explain it from A to Z so you can immediately get started. You don't need to come back and watch part 2, but maybe you need to watch this to continue to understand and learn it yourself. So the topics that we're going to cover, everything is live walkthrough. I don't waste time on boring slides. I like to show live demonstrations. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Choosing the right equipment. So I'm going to walk you through the types of equipment that you need, how to set it up, a live demonstration to collect scans of a property. So I'm actually at our office today. So I'm in the conference room right now, and I'm going to scan, the conference room, and we're going to create a tour of this particular space. How to import that footage, how to edit it, how to export it, how to upload the finished product to distribute to clients via website and or social media. So maybe you created a virtual tour of a particular space, so you want to send it to somebody else to be able to take a look at. I'm going to show you how to do that today. How to add annotations. So basically, this is a chair, this is a window, walk this way, this is the guest room, this is the den, this is the bedroom, this is the garage, those types of annotations. And the Dollhouse Effect, where you can zoom out and kind of look at the 3D view of the virtual tour itself. And then how to share with clients to build your virtual portfolio. So this is ideal if you're a CRE, which is commercial real estate or residential real estate. So a couple of house rules. Interact with the webinar. So if you are watching on demand, you can still interact and leave your comments. But if you're here right now live, let us know. If you have any questions, ask those questions. This is an opportunity to get the answers at no extra cost to you. So take full advantage of the opportunity at hand. I know a little about a lot, and which is why we're able to do all these webinars, and very proficient in the type of software and content that we're using. So if you have any questions, ask. If I don't have to answer, we can get to the person that can. And then last but not least, don't be hard on yourself, right? So I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been in tech. I've been in business as an entrepreneur. This is our 7th year. Influ is my 4th startup company. So throughout these years, I've learned a lot and used a lot of software and done a lot of things that I've become good at it because I've been doing it for a while. And in tech itself, I've been there for over a decade. So this is, I think, an hour or 2 hours long. So if you don't get it in this short amount of time, this is on demand. You can always come back and watch it again and learn it, perfect it, put 2 screens up, watch the tutorial, implement it right there. And then eventually you'll get it and you'll be able to share with somebody else. So just be patient. Eventually you'll get it and master it. Okay. So let's keep it going. And then also, if you got any questions, drop it in the chat, put it in the Q&A. Periodically go back and forth to answer those questions. Or Ms. Deborah, she would let me know that, hey, someone has a question, and then we can immediately get to it and answer it. So I just noticed something here. Let me fix this. Oops. I saw a typo. All right. I think it stopped sharing. All right, so now we're back. So this is the equipment that you would need. Okay, so you need a camera that would allow you to do a virtual tour. And the one that we're going to be using today is called a Ricoh Theta 5. So you can see the picture right here on the left side of the screen, but here is what it looks like in person. So it's a pretty neat device. You can see it's very, very small, right? So it can fit right in your pocket. It comes with this nice case to protect the lens. And so to do the 360 camera, you'll notice that it has a camera on the front and on the back, okay? And this is charged, so it's more than enough juice to handle the conference room. I don't know the square footage of a home that it could last for one charge, depending on how many areas or how many scans you do. It could, maybe 2,000 to maybe 2,500 square feet in one charge. But I think it has a lot to do with how many scans you're going to be doing as well. So in case you're wondering how long does the charge last you? But yeah, so the Ricoh Theta, I think they run retail maybe $300. And then with here, you probably could find one on eBay for even cheaper. I know when COVID hit, it was very difficult to find a 360 virtual camera, right? So I paid a little bit more for this. I think I paid upwards of $500 because people were selling them on eBay because there was very low supply and very high demand. So I actually bid it and ended up spending $500 for this camera. But I think now they're definitely in stock. COVID has kind of slowed down. So production is back in, stores are restocked, so you can go and probably go buy one in person. But they have other versions, but the Ricoh Theta is the one I'm using today. And then you're going to need Matterport, which is the software. Now, you may have heard of Matterport. So Matterport is they sort of spearheaded the virtual tour industry, and they have their own camera. So they have the software that they allow you to use as long as you have a 360 camera. And the software you can subscribe for free, but of course the free has your limit. I think it's only one virtual space, one user. It's very limited, but it allows you to test. So you can test today. Then if you're someone with multiple properties or multiple scans and have multiple users, then it's like $15 and on up from there. But it's fairly inexpensive for the value that you're going to get. The reason I say that is because Matterport also has their own version of a 360 camera. Now that camera, okay, does the same thing as this, but the price is like $3,500. You know, it's over $3,000. Then of course they got the entry level Matterport camera, and then they have the premium, which is even more expensive. That, ladies and gentlemen, if you are, you know, let's say you're Turner Construction or something like that, and you know there's more bells and whistles that you want to do, there could be some benefit to paying for that. But if you're also Turner or someone that's in this space, period, this would get the job done for why you are doing the virtual tour. So depending on your budget, determine which one you want to use. And there's also other versions of this. There's the Ricoh Theta 5. There is the Insta360. There's a couple other different versions of these types of handheld or pocket-sized 360 virtual cameras. And then last but not least, you need a smartphone. So today I'm using my wife is texting me, but I'm using an iPhone. I think this is the one that came out 2020. I don't know which one this one is. Whatever number that was that came out last year. In case you're wondering, you can also use a Droid. You can use an iPad. You can use a tablet. I would much prefer to use a tablet, but my daughter has held my tablet hostage for Coco Melon and Baby Shark. You know, so I'm using my iPhone today. But yeah, you can use this and we'll walk through A to Z. All right. Any questions before we get started? Because we're going to jump right into the live demonstration. And when I show you how to do this, ladies and gentlemen, this is once you do it a couple of times, it's very straightforward. So it's not on a scale from 1 to 10. I like to do this every webinar. I would say this is a 5, right? Because you got to couple three different devices. But once you get it, it's going to drop to maybe like a 2 or a 3. Any questions before we get started, like into the live demonstration? All right.
No questions. I don't see any.
Let me see. I see. Ready to go? All right. Perfect. So let's go back here. So now it says choosing the right equipment. So we've already done that, right? So the next step that we want to do is you're going to need a tripod. Now, I have this one. I brought this one here. So this is a Manfrotto. You don't need anything this fancy. In fact, I probably would prefer you use a monopod, which is just one single leg and then 3 legs at the bottom. So that's somewhere in our equipment room, and I was not able to locate it, but this will do the job for today's demonstration. But if you do have a monopod, it means it's one leg and it has 3 legs at the bottom, right? Because this opens up pretty wide. And the thing you don't want to do is to show up. You don't want the legs to show up within your virtual tour as a person is walking around the room. But this is going to show you the purpose and how it's going to look in the virtual tour. So you want to have your tripod, right? And then you're going to, you have your camera, and then you have the piece that goes to the bottom of your camera, right? So let's go ahead and screw this in here. And the great thing about the front and back, having a front and back camera, is that you don't have to, worry about which way is the lens, because there's a lens on the front and the back. Okay. So we have this. So every time it takes a scan, it's going to take a 360 scan. And then Matterport makes it very easy for you to, like, when you take your first scan, it shows you space that you scan, and then it darkens the spaces that you need to scan. So you know exactly where to go to create a full scan of one room. So this is what it's gonna look like. Okay. So now I'm going to share something. I'm gonna share my other screen. So after you've done that, you're going to go to Matterport.com. And as I said, you can sign up for free. So you can sign up for a free subscription on Matterport.com. And then once you do that, it's going to take you to this area. Now it's going to show you the types of cameras that you can use. So like I said, you have the Ricoh Theta V, which is what we're using today. You have the Z1, you got the Insta360 ONE XR, and then you can also use your iPhone camera from a 6S and above. So to make things easy, I'm going to be using a Ricoh Theta V. I've never created a scan using an iPhone. That's something that's fairly new. And to me, this is just much easier, in my opinion. But if I tried using my iPhone to make a virtual tour, it may be even easier. I just don't know because I haven't used my phone to do that before. But this is your dashboard. And then here's your spaces. Now, when you create it in your phone or your iPad and you upload it, it's going to automatically show here. Now, there's a process. So when you create your scan, now, the bigger the scan is, let's say you have multiple floors or you're doing a huge warehouse and you have, 100 scans. And what I mean by 100 scans is that scan 1, scan 2, scan 3. So when a person drops into your space virtually, they'll land at scan 1. And if you have 2 other scans, that means they can advance 2 other spaces. If you only create 1 scan and don't do any more, then there's nowhere for me to move virtually. So you want to create your scans based on how a person would walk through your space to give them that real life experience, right? So that's how we're going to create this. So when you create that scan within your app, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, and you finish and hit upload, this is where it's going to show, and this is where you can do all the fun editing and annotations, which I'll walk you through here later. Okay, so I just want to show you their website. And again, like I said, you can sign up for free. Just go to Matterport.com and do sign up, and you can do the free subscription, get familiar with it, and then you can upgrade to a much higher description. So I created this one specifically for today. It's called In-Back Demo. All right, so now let me share my iPhone screen. All right, so here's my iPhone screen. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Matterport. So if you don't have the app, already have the app. So if you don't have the application, you can go to your app store and download Matterport, the Matterport app. And then what you would simply do is just sign in using the free account that you made on Matterport.com. And then it's going to automatically connect everything. So now that we have the app open, if I click the bars in the top left and you look at the bottom left, you can see there's no camera. Oh, first, let me sign in right quick. So let me sign in. Oh, 1 second. Put my password in. All right, cool. Because this is on demand, and I don't know who's going to be watching this, so I wanted to make sure that my passwords are safe. All right, cool. So you can see I signed into the account demo, right? Top left, I just showed you that on the website. So it's the In-Back Demo account, and you can show the information right there. We're on a free plan. We haven't created any spaces. We're going to create one today of the conference room. So in the bottom left, it says connect to camera. Now, this is when this is powered on and it's connected via Wi-Fi. So this connects via Wi-Fi, not Bluetooth, okay? So I just want to make that very clear. And what you're going to do is, once you got your Ricoh on the other camera, is you're going to power it on. So let me just hold the power button, which is right there. So on the left-hand side. Right now, I've already connected this to my phone, so it should automatically connect via Wi-Fi, and then you would show it pop up in the bottom left of the application. So just give it a couple of seconds. Okay, let me see. There you go. I'll connect there. Okay. All right, connected. So you can see the bottom left corner that is connected, says Ricoh Theta V. Now, if you're someone like myself, when I first got the Ricoh, it didn't ask. It asked me for the password, and I was like, where's the password at? So the password is actually on the bottom. So let me show you what the password is, just in case you get the same device. And I might as well just share this with you because I had an issue with it. The password is right there on the bottom. So I couldn't find a password, and then I did some digging, and it was like, wow, because it was like an hour before I could even use it because I couldn't figure out the password, and it was actually on the bottom of the actual device itself. And because again, remember, I bought this off of eBay, so some of the stuff, the instructions didn't come with it. So let me see. All right. So now that it's connected, what we're going to do is we're going to take this and connect it to your tripod. Okay. And you can use any tripods you want. So this is just the one that we have for today's demonstration. Now, when you're creating your virtual tours and you set up your tripod or your monopod, you want to make sure that you're doing it, the height is eye level. Again, the whole point of doing a virtual tour is to make someone feel as if they are there. And so if you're someone that's 7 feet tall, okay, understand the average human being is not 7 feet tall. Drop it down a foot, a couple inches maybe, okay? Maybe like 5'10", 6 foot maybe, but don't put it way up there because it's just not the same experience for the rest of the world. So we want to make sure that it's a little bit, more with the average human eye level when you're creating your virtual tour. Okay. So now that this powered on, what we're going to do is we're going to X out of this. We're going to hit the plus sign because we want to start a new scan. So hit plus. So I'm at the office. I'll put 65. Let's just do impact demo. Save. Okay, all right. So now this is the fun part. So what we're gonna do, since we are on, I don't think you need to see me, well, yeah, you need to see me do this. So I'll try to straighten up just a little bit for you. Now, in an ideal situation, you want to start your scan at the door itself. So you're gonna do a scan before the door, before you walk into the door, and then you're gonna do another scan right after the door. It's just common practice, okay? So I'm gonna show you our intro to the conference room. So that's the door. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna set up the Rico. So I'm gonna reduce the height just a little bit because that's a little too high, but I didn't want the legs to be so far out either. Still a little too high. Let's go right here. Yeah, that's more like it. All right, cool. Okay. So now that we have it set up there, so ideally what you want to do is you want to move out of the way so it can stitch everything together. So I'm just gonna move and then press the scan. You'll see it. All right, so you see that? So that's the great thing about Matterport is that if you look at the areas here, you see where it says one scan. So where that says one, this is actually right before we walk into the conference room. So our office, it goes all the way over here. Then we have a long hallway here. Then it goes to each office. So if I was creating a virtual tour of the entire office, then what I would need to do is walk here, create a scan, walk here, create a scan. And then once I create a scan in that top right corner, then it's going to brighten it up even more. So since I'm just doing a conference room, I'm going to relocate myself another step inside the door entry, and then it's going to make more of this dark area more clear. Now, since I am standing within the scan, it's going to come out a little awkward because ideally, you want to hide somewhere where the camera can pick you up and then create the scan. But since I'm doing this virtual demonstration, and in order for me to connect my phone, I need to be connected to Wi-Fi. So what I'm doing is connecting via cord, which means I need to be to the actual laptop itself. Or I can do this. Think about that. I didn't think about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on a laptop and I'm connected to Wi-Fi. Somebody should have said something. I said, please interact with the webinar. So we're gonna take you guys on a little trip. All right, so you can see it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this camera in just a little bit. Right here. All right. Now I'm gonna hide over here. Then we're gonna hit scan again. See, now it opens it up even more. All right, so now I want to scan the way that I would anticipate you walking through this room. So let me create a scan right here. I'm going to create a scan in this right corner, okay? Go outside of the room one more time. Like I said, once I show you guys this, now there's people out there, and like I said, I don't knock the hustle, the creativity, or the job. but they would charge you $2,500 to do what I'm doing right now. So you can thank MBAC, thank Miss Deborah, because saving you guys a lot of money right now by showing you the tricks of the trade. And there's also something fun to play with, because you can take virtual picture, like 360 imagery or pictures. So my wife and I go on vacation, we could take a 360 picture and then, revisit it and kind of look around. We can look at the picture and then look what was around us at that given time. So it's a lot of value to this from a hobby standpoint as well. Wait a minute. Okay, so we're going to redo that scan. That one didn't make sense at all. So if you need to redo a scan, then we're going to delete this. That didn't make sense. So do it again. Just try it one more time. I know we can do. Let's go from the top 1 second. I think since I was in that first image, it's having a tough time stitching things together. So we're just going to do it again. I like to do things correct. All right, so let's go right here. Let me completely move out the way. All right. So move it right here. Out the way. Okay, perfect. That's looking a lot better. Move it right here. I think we do 3 more scans, then we should be done. We can go to the next step. Scan here. Nice.
Joshua, Pam has a question. She says that she helps homeowners design and build a better home.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to know if she can show them this video for those that have completed her course so that they can provide a virtual tour for their new home.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, the equipment that I'm using, given what we're doing in the space that you're in and how I'm doing it, is very, I think it's very affordable in the price range that it costs. I think you can find right now, again, I bought this Rico when people were basically buying and reselling them for twice the amount. And I really needed one at the time. And so I paid, double the price for it. But I think now you can find the same camera I have right now for like $250. And you could probably pay for it again and again, given the occupation that you're in. So yeah, please feel free to share it. And when I take it through the next steps, I mean, it really is, it's a very clean cut process. What we're doing right now is probably the most time consuming piece. It's just making sure that your scans are clean and in a way that it's easy to walk and navigate through the space. Aside from that, the software Matterport does everything else for you. So please feel free to share it. And if you have any other questions, let me know. I can answer them now for you as well. We'll do 2 more scans, and then I think we should be good to go. And as you can see with each scan, you see how the room just gets clear, the view gets clearer and clearer. So that's what happens. And that's how you know where to go. Now, I'm glad what happened in the beginning happened, because how 360 virtual tours are created is that it stitches together each scan. So if I'm standing in one of the scans, which I stood in the first scan, I thought I was hidden, and I do another scan and I'm not standing there in the same position, it's very difficult for it to stitch the two scans together because they aren't the same, right? So you want to make sure that whatever's in that house or that location, it doesn't move until you've completed all of your scans. So just as a quick tidbit. Otherwise, you may run into the area that we ran into where I was scanning in that corner, but it wasn't stitching it together correctly because that corner also was trying to couple with the scan that I was standing in, which I no longer was. So I just had to delete it and do it again, and it worked just fine. So just remember that whatever's in that room, tell people to stay out of it. Don't move the couch, keep things right where they are until you're done with the scan. And if you're moving to a new floor, you see the icon in the bottom right, you can add a new floor and you just put floor 2. And that way it can segment the floors and the scans as well. And I think, yeah, that does it, okay? So here's the room that we have just scanned, all right? So I wanted, so you can see it in person. All right, so here's the conference room, right? So we just scanned the conference room. And I'll show you what it's gonna look like once we upload it and get a little fancy with it. Okay. So now that we're in the app, we've completed the scan of our conference room. And again, if you wanted to do, if I kind of move around, if I wanted to do the entire office, then what I would do is I would just walk to each dark space and do a scan and fill it in. But again, you want to do it in a way that people are going to walk, because once we look at the virtual tour, you're going to stand at set number 7, and then you'll see a little like circle. I don't know if you've ever done a virtual tour before, but you'll see a little circle that you can click, and then it will like teleport you to that circle. And then you can look and stand and look around right here. And then you can teleport to 9, you can go to 10, 11. So you want to create your scans in a way that people would naturally walk through your home, right? Maybe if you have as an agency, we did virtual tours, a lot of virtual tours in a lot of big commercial buildings. And, and there's some houses where they have like, these beautiful showers that you could stand up in. And so you want to give that person going through a tour the feeling as if they're in that shower, right? You want to, if you got a nice walk-in closet, you want to give that person a feeling of being able to walk from the room into the closet and kind of look around and look at the shelves and the cabinets and stuff like that. So you want to create that tour in a way that someone is going to experience the household as if they were there.
Joshua, Devas has a question for you. They want to know how much distance between each scan.
Yeah, so I normally take a few steps. So I did, and I'm 6'4", so I take maybe 3 steps. So considering we're in this conference room, I didn't have to take that many steps, but you don't need to have a million scans. So I would say 3, depending on, my legs are pretty long, so 3 steps is a pretty unique distance. But you don't need to have like a measuring stick or anything like that. Just take a few steps, take a scan. And the thing is, in the editing day, right, when we're done and we upload it, you can always remove scans. You can move them as well. So don't panic if you're like, man, I just did 20 scans. This person's gonna take forever to walk through. You can remove them as well. So yeah, I would recommend like 3 to 5 steps, just depending on how big your steps are. Okay. So now what we're able to do, since we're done with the scan, let's click number 7, right? We can look around and it says preview, not final quality. So you can look around. So when you're in this tour, this is what it's going to look like, right? So you're like, okay, I like the 7. So remember I told you, okay, so like, okay, cool. So we can look at it this way as well. Okay. X out of that. You can look at 6. So like this is the conference area, it's the break room, and then here's like the hallway. I'm the only one in the office, so I don't have a mask on in case you guys like, COVID. But this is where you would walk down the hallway. So we just did it outside of the door, and then you can walk right in. All right, so everything looks good. We could look at it from this angle to see what it looks like, right? Cool. Now, to protocol, you see this little bar right here? This is where you can mark areas. So where it says like window, door, or maybe if you want to cut something. So I'm gonna move this like, so maybe it's like a photo. We can do this. So let's put, this is a window right here. It's the inside. That helps like with reflections when it's doing the upload scan. This is the inside of the home. But if you want to cut something out, you can cut as well. So that's X. Just want to show, we didn't create any 360 images, but let's say you have a home and there's a deck. Now remember, if you take a scan outside, it's a lot of area to cover outside. But maybe you want to do a 360 picture. So what you can do is you can go out on a deck, see where it says theta V, you can click theta V, and you can actually do a 360 image. Sorry, not theta V, that's where we're connected. You want to click options. You can do a 360 capture to where you can take a picture instead of a scan. So when a person is going through your virtual tour, they can click the picture and just look at the 360 image of the picture and then click out of it. So that comes in handy again, if you got stuff outside that you want people to be able to see but not walk around, right? And that den or that deck is probably an ideal situation, or maybe you have you have a pool or something and you want people to be able to get an image of the backyard, but you don't want them walking all through your backyard because that would create more scans. Then you can do a 360 capture and just create an image of that. Okay. And that's literally, that is the gist. And when you take your 360 capture, you would do the same exact thing. All right. You would just click into an image. Let me go back to scan. This is where your 360 image gallery would show up. Okay. Now, that's it. So you see at the top, it says 7 scans. Now, the more scans, the longer it takes to upload. So since we've already done 7 scans, because it has to process, and it has to upload to the cloud, and that's when you will log into your Matterport account on your desktop or your laptop, and that's where you're going to do all the fancy editing. So since we're done, we're going to upload. Let's see how long it takes. It shouldn't take long because it's only 7 scans. It's done. Oh, okay, it's done. All right, so Yeah. That's it for the scanning part. So that's the labor. Now comes the fun part. So I'm gonna stop sharing my iPhone. Any questions about how I just did what I did before I move on to, let's see. No questions. Okay. Does everyone understand or answer your questions? Again, I like to make sure you guys get it before we move on. If you got any questions, if I didn't explain something clearly, let me know. I do not mind going back over it. I just want to make sure you guys got it well explained. All right, perfect. So the iPhone, if you have an iPad or tablet, it works the same exact way. It doesn't look different. It works the same exact way. Okay. So I'm gonna stop share here. Okay, let me share screen. Let me go to my dashboard. All right. And it should upload. If it's done already, it should show in spaces. Let me see. Okay, still processing. All right, so that shouldn't take, it was only 7 scans. That shouldn't take no more than a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, while I'm here, let me see if there's a way I can show you the prices. Let's see if I have a Matterport. Still processing. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, okay. So remember the camera I told you about, Matterport cameras? Yeah, so it's $3,400 for that. So I have the free account that I'm using for today's demo. You can see right here, it's $3,400. So you can see the free. Starter is $10 a month. I think the $10 a month would get you a long way, but if you have a lot of clients or a lot of properties or spaces or units that you're doing virtual tours for, then you probably need to beef it up a little bit. But again, you're at your $10, you got 69, you got 129, 309. If you're in this 100, 250, 50 spaces, I think compared to the amount of spaces versus the price, I think it's fairly reasonable. And then if you got your enterprise plans, which obviously you have to contact them directly. So I think Matterport is really good. There's a couple other competitors out there, but Matterport is one that is very streamlined, very sophisticated. And if I had to say, it's very easy to understand and follow. Doesn't require any additional widgets or add-ons or nothing like that. And I think it's very user-friendly for those who are not as interested in being extremely tech savvy to get something done. So I just want to show you guys the prices there. But let's go back to the account and see if it's done yet. Come on. Shouldn't take that long. Is there, Ms. Deborah, is there a Q&A? I see there was 3, but I don't see my Q&As not popping up.
Yes, Tracy says, what is the typical subscription cost per month for Matterport, and what is another comparable software?
Oh, okay. All right, perfect. So I just walked through the subscriptions, the prices. So let's see. Yeah. So you have these right here. Zillow, that makes sense. VPix, never heard of them. I Spy, I've heard of I Spy, not Pano, not Tor Weaver, and 3D Vista. I've heard of 3D Vista. I heard that's pretty good. Um, and that's with that Google Maps. So I think based on the pricing, um, I would stick with Matterport, but and let me just put a disclaimer out there. I'm not affiliated with Matterport anyway. I'm not sponsored or so I have no um, loyalty to any particular brand here. I'm just going off one that I've used. I've been doing virtual tours since 2016 is when I did my first virtual tour. So I've been using Matterport for quite some time, and I've used both the Matterport camera itself, the $3,400 camera, and then also when we do tutorials, I like to use devices that I think the viewers could go out and get today. So if I can avoid using devices or equipment that costs $3, $4, $5, $6,000 even more, then I'm going to show you a direct alternative that still gets you very professional quality. Because we want to make sure that everything we do, it looks clean, it looks immaculate, and it's going to help drive more business. So, but if you have the 3,400 in your budget, the Matterport camera it's an option. It's much bigger. It comes with its own carrying case. So if it's someone that just wants to be on the move and pack up a book bag and jump on a flight or jump in the car and just go to the space, hook up your tripod, hit the button like we just did, scan it in 10, 15 minutes and get out of there, I think, the Rico or the Theta, the Rico or the Insta360 could all get the job done. Oh, come on. It's never taken this long. Are you kidding me? Any other questions? Let me try this too. Got one other. Let me try one thing. Hmm. One second. Let's see if it's. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's taking this long. With just 7 scans, it's never taken this long. Normally it takes this long if there's more scans. Considering we only did 7. Hopefully it'll be done here soon. Trying one other alternative to hopefully speed up this process. Any other questions you see, Ms. Deborah? I'll try to get this sped up.
Let me check.
Okay.
Legit, can't pronounce her first name. Said that she noticed that everything takes longer when you're logged into the webinar. So,
I like being respectful of time. It's never taken this long. So this is a good point. Thank you. Let's see.
yeah, I don't remember it taking this long either when we did it last year.
Let's see now. Especially with and we did more scans too.
Right.
One thing. So I think I have, what I'm trying to do now is, I think I have an old account that I'm trying to cover because I want to show you, let me see. See something. I don't know if this is not on our side, so I don't know. We're sort of at a standstill, Ms. Deborah. If everyone's okay with waiting, I'm certainly fine with it.
Is there a help desk number or something? Is it a technical problem on their end or?
Yeah, I mean, everything, it's already uploaded. So what happens is, once you do the scan and you have to upload from your phone to the cloud. And so it did that because there's only 7 scans. So it did that quickly. So you see that cloud with the check mark, let me show you. All right, so when you see this cloud with the check mark on the top left, that means that it's been uploaded to Matterport. So once it goes to Matterport, otherwise you'll see another rotating circle because it's processing. Now that normally takes longer to upload given how big the scans are. But now once it goes to Matterport, then it has to process. Like Matterport has to process stitching everything together so we can go in and edit. And
So it's on there. Do they have a help desk number?
yeah, let me see. Support center. Let's See if they have a live chat. Let's see. All right. Says we are in queue. Let's see what happens. Were there any other questions while we're on here? On the wait?
No questions.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for your patience. We do appreciate this, but in this new age that we are existing in, there are technical issues that we have to bear with. So thank you again for your patience.
Yeah, and I think, okay, here we go. Let's see. It says the operators are busy. Leave a message. Well, let me see here. So the meat and potatoes of the Matterport we have explained. So let me share. Let me share this presentation. So I'm gonna go through this checklist. So we've done the scan, which is probably the most, I don't think this is a very difficult process, but if I had to rank level of difficulty, what we have completed is the most difficult part. The reason why is because you have to structure your scans properly to go through the space, to cover every area, and to make it easy to walk through as a visitor of the virtual tour. Right now we're at the import, so this is the process that is processing. How we edit everything from here down is very, from a scale from 1 to 10, is I would say at a 2. The reason I say at a 2, possibly a 3, is you knowing the functions, like knowing what the buttons do. Once you know what the buttons do, the level of difficulty goes from 2 or 3 down to 1, because it's very straightforward. It's like, when we taught Canva, how do you edit text? It's just always double clicking and editing the text, right? But if you didn't know the double click, it can be very difficult. But now you realize that double click is the answer to all problems. So it's the same thing within the Matterport software. So yeah, it has to be from Matterport's side, because they just told me, we apologize for keeping you waiting. Our operators are busy at the moment. Please leave us a message with your email address and we'll get back to you shortly. So I don't know what's going on from the software side, if the servers are flooded with people doing virtual scans at the same time we're doing this demo, quite possibly. I think as a level of feedback for us, what we'd do the next time is, for every webinar, we've always done everything live so you can watch it step by step, but also see when we run into hiccups, because you're going to run into hiccups and we can fix them and show you how we fix them. But in this particular case, perhaps already have this room uploaded so then we can go and then edit it when it comes time to do that. So I know as feedback for myself, I'm going to take that approach the next time, so we don't have to sit here and wait for the processing. The reason why I didn't do it is because first time, we did like 20, 25 scans, and it took 5 minutes and to process, and we were editing at this point already. But I would say this is from Matterport's side. It's not from our side. We've done everything that we needed to do. Now it's just waiting for it to process. But in the event,
So Joshua, is the editing process for this the same as it would be if you were editing, like you did, was it 2 weeks ago? You were, you
yeah,
showed how to do,
yeah, the editing is very straightforward. It's not complicated. I just, I like explaining things because to me, I could say it's not complicated, but to the viewer who may not be as tech savvy, I like to explain it to where they don't get discouraged or intimidated by what they're looking at.
so would you use the same technique that you used for the last webinar where you talked about Adobe? Is it Adobe editing we had?
No, that's a completely different.
That's a completely different, okay,
Yeah, completely different.
okay.
The only, I think the other alternative that I know I wouldn't mind doing is I can create, a tutorial video for everyone and send it out to you today.
Okay,
I can commit to doing that and just, I can go through, record myself walking through editing what we just did and send it to you all if that's easier. I feel bad, like, sitting here just kind of watching the screen go in circles when it's beyond our control. And I'm at the office and our internet speed is, we have the enterprise package because of the space. We're a technology company. So everything we have in our office is fast. So it's not our issue. This should be lightning speed, but it sounds like it may be from Matterport's side from what I'm looking at right now.
well, if you could do that and then send it to me and I can send it out to everybody, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. And sorry for this. I wish I had control over this part. Unfortunately, I don't, because in order to do the next step, it has to process on Matterport's site, and everything is in the cloud. And then once it gets to that site, then we can go in and edit. And I walk you through that piece within this recorded demo, and I'll keep it short and sweet, so it's not you sitting there watching 20 minutes of content. But yeah, it still hasn't. I'm still checking. It still hasn't processed. So everyone watching, is that a route you want to take? What would you guys prefer? Has the information been clear up to this point? Would you like me to continue that same cadence? Oh, thanks, Pam. I think I've already missed Pam, but thank you. Let me know in the chat, in the comments, what you guys would like to do. Okay, Charlene, thanks. Said that's fine. Ms. Deborah, what would you like to do?
I think if you created that video like you were talking about, and then we can just send it out to everyone, I think that would be good.
Okay. Yeah, well, I have this, I'll get this done today and I'll send it over to you. And it'll be annotations just like we're doing now.
Okay.
It'd be easy to follow. So,
Okay.
see.
All right.
Because I would like to know how to share it. Yeah, I got you. So yeah, I'll show you guys how to do all of that in that tutorial video. And given that this is me doing a tutorial video, it'll get straight to the point. So you don't have to sit there and watch a lot of the fluff. Yeah.
Okay.
The Dollhouse Effect? Oh, yeah, I can show you that right quick. Let me show you Dollhouse Effect right here. Okay, so let me just bring this up. Let me share my screen. So this is Dollhouse Effect. So you'll be able to look at our conference room from this like 3D sculpture view. That's pretty cool. And then, you can zoom out to this Dollhouse 3D model, and then you can click a circle and it'll drop you right into that room. So that's the Dollhouse effect. But I'll show you that. Yeah, it's still processing. So, okay.
All righty. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Again, our apologies for the technical difficulty, but as Joshua has stated, it's not on his end, it's on the Metaport's. And so we just have to wait until that finishes processing. And when it does, he will create that tutorial video that will be sent out to everyone. He'll send it to me and I'll send it out to everyone. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you for giving your time today, and stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you, Joshua, for facilitating this for MBAC, and we do appreciate you very much. And everybody, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.